friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, most amazing, beautiful viewers. I am so blessed to be here today. If you are new to this channel, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you found me. And if you're returning, I am so blessed and so grateful to have you return to me to do yet another reading for you. I hope these readings resonate with you guys today. And you guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. So we're looking at your higher self and what sort of guidance is your higher self suggesting you do next? What should you take action on? What sort of pathway is ahead of you that you should be acting on? And I use high self very loosely because this would indicate there's another separate self here, okay? And there is no separate self. There's just your being, okay? Your being, and your high self is closest to your most authentic being of every single lifetime energy that's accumulative over a period of time for you. So this is coming from your most authentic self here, okay? From the divine source. You could connect it back to the divine spirit, okay? But your path, what it is you're supposed to be doing here, okay? So I do use the supposed to be loosely as well, because there is no right or wrong thing to be doing. Everything is an experience, okay? So if you're here, clearly you're drawn by the title or you're drawn by the reader. But either way, you're here for a reason. So there's a messaging here in regards to what you should be doing next, what you should be focusing on next. Any advice, okay? So 3 options, and I will hold these up so you guys can take a look at the colors. Now, obviously, depending on your computer screen or phone screen, the coloring might be a little different, but this one's more of like a purpley pink color. It's like a deep rose color. Option number 2 is this blue marker, okay, and it's more of a I don't know why I'm describing these colors in detail, but this is kind of like a aqua blue, I would say. Maybe not so much green in it though. Cross between sort of the sky blue and the aqua blue. A little deeper than a baby blue. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I'm describing these colors like this, but it is what it is. And pile 3, you guys have this this lilac color marker, purple. It's like a light purple or like a pastel purple, the pom-pom anyway. So those are your colors, okay? If you're drawn to multiple markers, colors, that's absolutely fine. It just means there's multiple messages here for you, okay? And that's fine. And it's fine not to be drawn to any of them at all. So I do ask you, use your intuition, what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether the messaging is right for you. Only you can do this, okay? And it's okay to not resonate with that pile and leave, okay? Sometimes it's just one message, and sometimes we're just developing our intuition and we want to listen to what's going on. But we'll know whether that pile is for us or not. It could be energy around us as well. Someone else, something impacting our world around us that is coming from a different aspect. And if we're really awake, we can resonate with that pile, but not necessarily our own high self. It could be the high self of someone you're engaged with. It could be the high self of, you know, your spirit team or someone who's crossed over. But either way, just if the messaging resonates, then that is what you're looking for, okay? So I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 1, you guys picked this rose-colored pink marker, okay? And we're looking at your high self and what sort of guidance, advice is your high self suggesting you do next. What are you supposed to be doing next on your path? Okay, now I always want to make sure you're not taking things so literal, okay? I might not be the reader for you if we're not speaking sort of from the same place, because I don't want to give you any sort of guidance in the wrong direction. Use your intuition. Number one, okay, always use your intuition. If it doesn't feel right, don't force it to fit. What you see, feel, or hear. And then I'll lay these cards out, which will allow you to tap into your intuition and develop your intuition. Okay, now if you're still developing your intuition and you're not sure, then you might want to listen to all three piles and see which one's resonating for you. Okay, but only you can sort of do this. And like I say, your high self is spirit, divine. Okay, your highest being, which is not separate from you. That is you, without all the egos, with the accumulative energy that you've been generating, all the karmas and everything. Okay, so this is where this information is coming from. Okay, with obviously the help of the divine, and everything's connected back to one source, the divine. So this is where this information is coming from. Let's take a look. What is it that pile 1 is being advised to do next? Okay, so we have Leo with shine, number 5. Oh, shine. Well, that's beautiful advice. Pile 1, just shine. So Leo is a beautiful, open-hearted energy. In the shadow attribute, Leo could be quite prideful, quite prideful, which is the ego bit. But the opposite of that is heart consciousness, So we have 5, and 5 is about conflict, loss. It's about change and rebuilding. 5 can also be the Hierophant, okay, which is our way of life and what we value, our traditions, our indoctrinations, and our belief systems. And 5 can also be the Temperance reduced, which is finding balance, healing. Okie dokie. Some of you guys might resonate with a Leo sun, moon, rising sign in your chart. This could certainly be energy around you, okay? If you're dealing with multiple people or one specific person or a situation, we could be tapping into that energy as well, okay? Because energy isn't linear and it's no form. So just, this is how you'll tap into your intuition. Don't take things so literal here, okay? Sometimes it's literal. So we have retrograde with review, number 15. 15 is the devil in the tarot. Okay, the devil could be seen as the ego. Okay, retrograde and review. It's all about the past. Reflecting on past. Okay, so we have wrath, devil energy. So 54, or the number 9. 9 is hermit, so Virgo energy as well as Leo and Capricorn with the devil energy I'm feeling here. But I'm feeling what the hermit is coming through because I feel there's like a introspection here. Some sort of review of the inside. So it could be shadow work here with the devil and the pride and the ego and the temperance. I need to balance or something like this. Community, number 10. Look at this beautiful tree, you guys. Wow. So the tree is our family lineage. It could be our physical health, our stability. I'm getting past again with the poppies. So something in the past here, and the roots could be the foundation of something. So I'm getting root chakra, and devil certainly root chakra. And all these crows are giving communication, but could be multiple sort of, I was going to say people, but I feel it's egos here. Oh, okay, this one's interesting. You see all these buildings. Community is about structure. I'm seeing 4 wands because that's the community card, 10 is end of cycle, wheel of fortune. It's also sun energy, which we could get from Leo, divine masculine energy. Okay, let's keep going. So take a moment, stop. Now is not the time to rush into the decision you're about to make. We saw temperance here as well. Before this important decision is made, take a moment to pause and quiet your mind so that you can ask your soul for guidance before you act or move forward. Well, that was hermit. And the butterfly here is about the transformation, which we're getting from the number 10. This is kind of picking up rainbow here, even though it's not really a rainbow. because rainbow could signify hangman for me, because it's change of perspective or seeing different sort of perspectives. But it looks like this is a download from the divine, in regards to what you reflect on here in hermit mode in order for you to contemplate some decision or some action. Okay. Embracing with this, I don't know if this is a sort of bird this is. It's not coming to me the type of bird this is. But the white is all about purity, coming from the authentic place. This looks very serene. Okay, embracing. We have the masquerade, hiding from your true self, projection. Yes, he's feeling this pure self. This is the inauthentic self, the ego self. And here we see the comedy and tragedy. So it's like the dualistic. The temperance I'm seeing again, the need for balance is the dualistic way, you know, good, bad, rather than unity consciousness here. And then projection. Okay, I kind of see what's going on here. Let's see though. File, mystery, strangeness, and transformation. Look, again, the duality here. An eye's open here, it's sleeping. Are we awake or are we not seeing something here? Transformation coming through yet again with the butterfly we were feeling, and the number 10, all about transformation. Strangeness and mystery. Could be a mystery of something's in the subconscious. Okay, mystery, yeah, which we're not seeing yet because we need to review something. Surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. I feel there is a double block of ego here. Something's holding you back. And here we have stag spirit leadership. So this is emperor energy. This is empowered energy, masculine energy coming through with the Leo, the stag, 39, or the number 12. Or the number 3. So I am getting hangman again because I was feeling it with the rainbow, with the number 3, because that's the hangman reduced in the tarot. Okay, and then Aries energy. And here we have winter, 16, or the number 7. Winter. That's a stuck energy, frozen. But it's also hermit and needs to sort of pause, stop. Okay, embracing. So the golden rose, and this is number 58. The number 13 is that transformation pulling through again, the death, Scorpio energy. Golden rose. It's all about this like pure state of being. It's almost like an unrealistic sort of state that you're trying to achieve in some way here. Okay, and Pluto. Yeah, so Pluto is giving me that Scorpio energy that I was just picking up here. So this is the shadow self. Here's a spider web. So spider webs could be what you're trying to create, the creative energy, but this is all in the shadow, the darkness. Here we see more skulls. The death of something here. Pluto, Scorpio. Okay, and here I am, the desert. So this drowning of the ego I'm feeling here, not feeding into it. And of course, the desert has a lot of sunlight. Sunlight is masculine energy. A lot of sun. It's missing water and it's missing emotions, and winter's missing something. It's frozen, so the emotions are stuck. Okie dokie. We see what's going on here, don't we? And the temple, 39, number 12 coming through again with the number 3. So 3, growth, relationships, initial success of something. It's also Empress energy. So that's divine feminine. That is the emotions. Okay, with Empress, love, abundance, not a lack mindset, which would be scarcity. And then 30 is also, like I said, hangman, change of perspective. And it's also the world, which is concluding a cycle, putting an end to something here. And it's also the incubation period for the new. Okay. And we have earth. The frequency of earth activates our deep connection to the physical plane by showing us the beauty of all the aspects of our great mother and revealing the more ethereal spiritual aspects of our own nature. Number 24, or the number 6. We see a Merkaba. Let me sit with this earth energy for just a little bit. Frequency of earth. This is like getting grounded, but we're still talking about our spiritual aspects and grounding it in nature. Okay, and then we have the moon and Chiron, number 16, or the number 7 coming through twice. I do feel we had 7 here somewhere. Faith, wisdom, reflection, hermit energy again. Okay, and understanding. 7 is also chariot, integrating shadows, balance with the temperance and the chariot being balance. It's also tower energy, which is letting the illusion fall, or the false self fall, the masked self fall, the ego self fall. Yeah, and so 16 is star energy. Is it not? No, it's tower energy. I'm sorry. 16 is tower energy. Yeah, so I was feeling that tower coming through as well. Moon and Chiron. So that's emotions, but there's pain here with the Chiron. Healing. Okay, so beautiful people. Let me sit here with this energy to talk about what it is that your high self is suggesting you do next, okay? You can click on the timestamp. Will take you directly to the channeling. Beautiful pile 1. This is so powerful as I was laying out these cards, you know, and I feel this is where a lot of people might not even get to, like the populace here of this sort of state of awareness. But I feel like you're amidst being aware of this, so you can transmute this energy and work with this energy here. Okay, so hopefully this is something that resonates with you guys. We'll see more with the tarot, because there's some parts here that I'm not putting together, and it could be because there's lots of you guys here, but there's some that are very straightforward and clear. So I feel like you're at a place in your spirituality or in your path, because this is all about what you're supposed to sort of be doing next. Now, whether you're on a sort of enlightened path, and I feel we all are, whether we know it or not, we're all on a path of coming aligned into our most authentic, pure self, or the best potential self that we could be, okay, whether we're active or not. And so what this does is it frees us of suffering, and it aligns us better with the divine, which is everyone's sort of purpose, whether they believe in a God or not. It's like aligning yourself with the divine creator being that we are, bringing you back home to self. Okay, and so that ultimately is everyone's sort of path. Okay, so this isn't really talking about what you need to do 3D so much in your situation, so much as what you're needing to work within self, so that your 3D life becomes a lot easier and you're more aligned here to get to where you need to go. Because I feel like this pile would be suffering here from an ego. Okay, and we all have egos, but I feel like when we're kind of early on, there are certain egos that really prevent us from development and movement in our life. And so I feel like there's pain here caused by an egoic false self, not your true self, as I see as my throat chakra closes. So I feel like there's a need for authentic expression, who you truly are coming from this place. But if we don't know who that is, and we resonate with the self we've created, then that's the self that we're expressing onto the the world, onto our community, onto everything and everyone that we're engaged with. So you might be aware of this. Like, you might know that, there's this false self that's rearing its head, but we're not quite sure what we're supposed to do with it, or what's really the false self, or how do you take this energy and transmute it or work with it, is kind of what I feel is going on here. You guys might be on a sliding scale. You might not even, for some of you guys, you don't even realize that you're on program. You're at a tarot reading, so I'm sure you're about to awaken, or your spirituality is awakening. You understand there's something more here, okay, but you're not quite sure what false self is. And I do have a video in regards to your authentic self and how you could tell, but I think unless you're already on the path or the journey, it'll be difficult for you to grasp this concept. Okay, we might be living an idea of who we think we need to be, and we believe it to be very true. That's our Hierophant. So we don't think that we're inauthentic. We don't think we're trying to please others by saying, oh, I'm going to do this because this will make other people happy. Our mind isn't there. Our mind is just in programming, pleasing others, and doing what it was that we were brought up to believe, and through our experience. And so this is what our action is. We're just taking action in this way in our day-to-day life, what we do for a living, our relationships, and our day-to-day, even our little hobbies and whatever we're engaged with. I feel like there's a programming going on here. And so what your high self and spirit is showing is there's a need to make space between you and your programming and your everyday actions, so you can review this self that's coming out. Because when you are really observant and you recognize that self, you're going to identify that this isn't the truest being that's underneath that isn't aligned to what it is that you're doing, okay, in your day-to-day life. That doesn't mean everything you're doing is completely misaligned. It could be, but it could be a big part of your life, like your career, that's misaligned. And so if we don't make space and pause between our action and reflection of this, and I don't mean in our mind just reflecting like, oh, I wish I had a better job, or what am I doing day in, day out? It kind of weighs on your soul, but this is why it's in the subconscious, because this is unknown to us. It's very deep. Okay, it's very deep here, but I feel like for this pile, what I'm really picking up is something in regards to the emotions are being blocked off here. The emotions are being blocked off because I feel there was an experience of pain. Okay, there was an experience of pain here, and so this triggered a sort of a shutting of the true emotion, and so it transpired into certain actions in your life that resulted in just acting out of programming and triggering and traumas and that sort of thing. Okay, so but I feel like once we pull back and create the space, and this really means through any form of either meditation, solitude, walking in nature, heavy contemplation, prayer, connecting with the divine, being very honest with self, and then taking a look at the hard parts of self that I feel are in the subconscious here, and they're manifesting in your world through the ego, because I feel like we have a lot of attachment here to the material world, and that could be to the identities we've created. So this doesn't mean you're materialistically like attached to money or power or fame or your role, but the identity you created is attached to you. And so therefore, as long as it's fed and kept alive, the truest self can't be seen. Okay, and this is freezing with the winter here, the true self, because there's a well of emotions here that are needing to kind of come out. So I feel like for this group, how you'd probably resonate, I feel there is a lackluster. There's like feeling very disconnected almost here, you know, like life is kind of dry or boring, or like you might have like you might even have like a fantasy of what something could be, but it's not even strong enough, I feel, at this point to inspire you to take action here. I feel like with this group, we're more turned the other way, which is what doesn't work in my world, and what's hurt me, and what might be past experience. And so we could be really stuck there right now. And sometimes this is a process we go through, you know, reflecting on the past. But I feel like your high self here is saying there's a heavy attachment to the past. And this is what's keeping you chained and stuck and dry, or frozen state, keeping you from the gold, or what it is that you might fantasize about life being, or bringing the shine, or the zest for life here. Because I feel like there is a zest for life that you could embrace, that doesn't have to come from how you've been sort of engaged, you know, like this leadership. This is like doership, masculine energy, and it could get kind of convoluted when we're still in ego, you know. Then the more I find a better job, or the more I attain, or the more I feed my identification with self, the more then I feel maybe I'll get closer to who I'm supposed to be, you know. But it's the opposite of this. It's like through the release of the attachment, through the reflection of what I've been doing, you know, like how I've been living, how I've been in programming, how I've been engaged, and really seeing it from a different lens, from all the lenses we can. Because again, in the subconscious, it's going to be hard to see it at first. But if we keep putting our sort of our reflective self back here, we eventually start to see actions in self that don't really make a whole lot of sense, or aren't aligned with our present self. Okay, it just keeps perpetuating from the past self. And so back to, I know this is very layered, and it's kind of difficult to explain, so I hope you guys are following if it resonates. But when we have trauma or something happen in the past, you know, it really, really impacts our present, which in turn will impact our future if we don't stop to really contemplate that thing and cut that attachment to that experience, or to that understanding, or to that reasoning. Because the past is nothing but an illusion. The only thing that really exists is the present moment. And so if we keep building on that attachment of the past, we just keep reliving in that. So that is a belief in scarcity, because we're sort of chasing something that is telling the universe here that we don't have. Okay, we don't have. But by being completely present and detaching from everything that we've been hanging on to, it tells the universe, I trust that abundance is out here, and that my most authentic self is going to come through here, leading me towards what is most aligned for me emotionally, passionately, and move me, and be able to get me to actually like act upon it. Okay, like I want to act upon it. And when it's in line with your authentic self, it doesn't feel like work. It's just you're doing, you're acting in that responsive energy. You're responding, you know, you're not reactionary. So what is your high self saying? Your high self is saying there's pain here in the past that's dictating how you're acting right now. That might be in your shadow, that is in your blind spot, that you probably can't see just yet because you haven't created the space. You need to take time to see this so you can integrate those shadows. And how do we transmute it? It's being aware of it when we're doing those actions. You know, I'm aware I'm doing it. Now, this isn't shaming, blaming, judging. There I go again to work. I'm such a horrible person because I can't break out of the matrix, and I have these thoughts. Okay, that is still past energy. We can't have that. We observe without judgment, and we observe and we observe, and we start to create space between us and that action. Okay, and then the authentic self pulls through here with giving us clarity that doesn't come through any other way except through divine source, and we start to get inspired to see things start to come in front of us that now open the door and create an opening for us to free us from the devil. Okay, but if we're always focused on the devilly things, we can't see the divine and we can't see the light. So it's just a matter of time. It's not, okay, take action right now and, whatever, quit your job. I'm talking about job, but I feel this is more in line with something emotional with you, and it could be your work, the lackluster is missing here and your calling or your purpose or your creative thing. But for some of you guys, you apply this into context, because it could be really like in relationship here, like relationship to anyone or anything. And you're stuck with the past. You're stuck with the past pain of something. So therefore there's no opening. And so now back to what you should sort of be handling this is you shine your light of awareness. You're in observer mode, and you're aligned with the divine, saying, hey, divine, I am open to seeing, my ego and my shadow and really reflecting, really being devoted to seeing what this is. We can't just question it and then go about our day and forget about it for the rest of the week. But really, really put aside time to say to the divine and ask ourselves, like, I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see my programming and my beliefs that have kept me in this sort of frozen state. And so we start to see it in our actions. And when we first start this, it's very big things we're aware of in our world, very big things. And then it becomes the smaller things that we're doing every day that are very difficult to spot until we become more proficient in seeing our programming and how we are reactive in the moment. Okay, so this is a forever sort of work on self. But the big shadows get integrated when we spot the devil or the attachment for what it is without judgment. We do not condemn ourselves or repeat the sort of same self-speak. So the thought comes, because the thought's going to keep coming. We don't control the thought. And now we don't attribute our energy and our charged emotions to that thought. We see the thought, we think the thought, we don't resist the thought, and we let the thought sort of go. And these thoughts are going to keep sort of coming up. But now we engage differently and we're aware, hey, I just had that thought. That thought is untrue. This thought is something of the past. The past is no longer here. And we can completely detach ourselves from who we were in the past, because that is not who we are in this present moment. Okay, but the more we resist and try to quiet our thoughts, it becomes what you resist persists. Same as if I tell you right now, come up with a thought, come up with a thought that you really want to have right now. And the harder you try, it's like, well, what comes through? Like, what comes through, when you're sort of forcing it. So allow the thoughts to do what they do. It's a function of the body, okay? The body's going to come up with thoughts. And so we don't tie any emotions. We don't keep following and throwing wood on that thought to keep that thought going, okay? So it's not heavily charged. And we become aware of how often we're having these sort of thoughts, that are pulling through. But our emotions are a good indication here of what it is we're creating. And so if we're not charging these thoughts with the same emotions of the past, our future now is created differently here. Okay, but it takes us having to make this space, allowing the universe to bless us with abundance, and us embracing all of our self, even the shadow self, even the self that was in programming, even the hurt self that experienced pain. This is working with this self. This is how we transmute it. And we don't burn it in a way that we try to force it out of us or get rid of that. We welcome it, we embrace it, we hug it, we embrace it, okay? By welcoming, embracing, loving that part of ourself. We might not like what it's caused, but we love ourselves enough to take that, okay? And I'm seeing the Chariot energy, which is pulling through in your layout, and the Temperance, to transmute it into workable energy, light energy, okay? This is how we burn ego. So I feel like this is what you're being called to do. Burning of the ego, burning of the shadow self, dropping the mask we wear that we might not even be aware of that we're wearing, that's causing the suffering. It's causing duality, which is a belief in scarcity out there inside me, them versus me. So there's abundance in the universe that's ready to be attained by you or become your reality, because it's always there. But if we never see it or engage, we're not in the dance of the universe. We're sort of thinking we're separate, we're separate. And so we're in frozen state. So I feel like there's an emotional overflow here wanting to come to you, because I feel like when the winter melts, okay, when all this sun energy I'm feeling from your pile, because it's right in the background here, this sun energy, and yes, ego, but also sun, like I said, is enlightenment, and sun brings the warmth. And when you shine this sun here on this winter, I feel like there's going to be a heavy flow of emotions. And right now it's desert, and so it's either this heavy flow of emotions, or this really dry state. And so this is why, for some of you guys, you might already be on this path, that the temperance is coming through, because this is all about balance. We can't have too much emotional drowning, but it may take some time for us to regulate, and we can't be too shut out, in programming and now not in tune with our emotions. Okay, so I feel like it's either going to be frozen here or like really dry, and then an overwhelm of emotions here, which might, throw us off kilter. So this is why when we do this, it's important to go at our own pace of what we can burn off, and how we can melt some of these more frozen spots within self. Okay, and shine, yeah, because the shining on the winter is going to cause the melting, which is the water, the emotions, more in tune with the emotions. So now we're acting out of heart space. Okay, and this isn't the emotions that are tied to the unhealthy thoughts, the thoughts of the past. This is true emotion from the pure self that isn't coming from thought. When it sees an opening, that true authentic self, the emotion comes out. It's almost like an uncontrollable feeling. The truest nature, the true feeling comes out. And that is because we're shining our light of awareness on the frozen state, and so now we are more aligned with the authentic self, with the true feelings. So there's a need to get grounded while we do this process, a need to, know what to surrender to the divine, and to really do the practice here, which could be meditation, forms of whatever you do, if, like I say, walking in nature, or whatever your way of connecting to the divine is, prayer, devotion, yoga, whatever your thing. Okay. But I feel like the more you shine this light of awareness and observation, the more of your pure self comes out. But we need to embrace the shadow self. We need to embrace the pain. We're heading towards more of a pure state of being here, but we need to find balance, and we need to get grounded while we do this, and we integrate to this shadow as we transform here, and see a lot of the pains that are kind of coming up. Okay, so let's just ask Spirit that if anything wants to come through with the tarot from your high self. Spirit, for pile 1, their high self is communicating what pile 1 needs to do right here, right now. What is being suggested here for pile 1 that might provide more clarity? Pile 1 has any questions right now in regards to their current state that they're needing to know right here, right now. Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Beautiful soul. Beautiful, enlightened soul. And we have some that flipped around here. And one more, which is falling on my lap. Okie dokie. Chariot, which we were feeling in the layouts. I don't read bottom of the deck reverse, but it doesn't really matter because I'm just reading energy. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter here. Okay, so Cancer energy. Under that, we have 4 wands in reverse, and we were feeling that from the community if you guys did the layout with me. So very in line with the oracle so far. Chariot, integrating shadows, remaining balanced, working with the universe. This is the whole spread. Could be laid out with this one card, okay? How do we become successful? Okay, successful with the universe, whatever your vision of the success is. Okay, I'm not talking about like CEO money and that. I mean, unless that is your success, but success could just mean my enlightened state of non-suffering. How do I win in the present moment? Okay, and not that winning is everything, but a sense of feeling bliss, feeling enlightened, feeling balanced. So we have to integrate shadow and remain balanced here, and we all carry dark and light. Okay, but we have to sort of ride through with the universe, and we're being pulled through this journey. And so our job is to keep this chariot upright, not to get too dualistic and off balance, because we get stuck in a rut, or we might flip this chariot over. So the universe is riding you through. We're needing to find balance, integrate dark shadow sides. So I feel like we haven't created the true stability of our existence yet. This is our soul family. This is creating that sort of foundation to build upon. It's the milestone of building upon for our future, for the stability. I feel like as long as we are in mask energy, ego, shadow, false self, whatever you want to call it, projection, we can't start on the Four Wands, okay? Four Wands is also my union card, which is talking about, divine masculine and feminine being integrated together within self. We all carry masculine, feminine energy. So in order to integrate and become balanced individual, unity consciousness, we need to integrate both our masculine and feminine, okay? Create the stability. So let's see. These cards showed up here, face up. So Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So this is the manifestation. Okay, this is a new beginning with prosperity, and this is like the actual thing we're supposed to be creating here. Okay, here prosperity again, 9 Pentacles. So you feel a little desolate, or the thing you can't create or manifest is happening right now. And what your high self is really showing here is, in order for you to get into this 9 Pentacles energy, because this is a beautiful energy of stability, which you don't seem to have in the way that is making you feel confident in it, like the stability, the independence here of somebody who's comfortable, who's created the thing. It has to start somewhere, and I feel like the way where it has to start is from the authentic place, right? The seed can't keep growing in the inauthentic desert place. Like, seeds don't grow in the desert, and so you could continue to navigate through this desert, but I feel you can't no more. I feel like yourself is drowning in this desert energy, and so the seed now is your high self saying, it's time, pile one, to plant this seed. And in order for seed to grow, you need the melted waters of the winter, to sort of water the seed. But right now all you have is sort of desert sand. It's not going to grow, and in the winter you can't grow the seed either. So this suggests for you to get to your 9 Pentacles state, to create the stability state. Okay, and we need to be balanced and integrated, masculine and feminine, in order to get to our 9 Pentacles. You can't be in 9 Pentacles if you're out of balance, or if you have too much feminine or masculine, or distorted feminine or distorted masculine energy. I'm not sure which you guys are here, if you're distorted feminine or masculine. I was picking up a lot of masculine energy here with the sun, okay, but that was just ego. To me, it was representing ego, but we were getting this masculine, leadership energy. So I feel like I don't know, like either you have distorted masculine energy, or it's just how you're utilizing your masculine energy here that might be not functioning here. So the Tower and Judgment. Yeah, Tower is all about the structure around us. Okay, so structure again, it says release, destruction, enlightenment. Okay, and the Judgment is awakening, acceptance, and assessment. So the space I was talking about provides us with enough space for us to assess from an actual pure place that we haven't really assessed ourselves in the past, accepting what is without judgment, in order for us to let the tower fall, the structure we already have. So when I said you don't have structure, you might already have a structure, but this structure is not sustainable because it is feeling like a desert. Nothing can grow here in alignment with your pure self, the present self here that is now awakened. And the awakened self is now seeing differently. And so it has to let the structure fall and release certain things, attachments, actions, programming, beliefs, in order to be more enlightened, in order to integrate the shadow and make progress on this journey path. Okay, Ace Wands, yeah, to get inspired. Because I feel like this is a new beginning. It says career beginnings and travel. Okay, but this is like a match. When a match goes off, it's like very bright, intense, and we take action with it. Otherwise, it just sort of burns out, right? So it's quick energy, but it gets us to move in some way. And it's also creating the heat I feel you need on the winter, because I feel there's a stuck, frozen state here and also a dry state. It feels unmovable, non-inspired, and yeah, so, and for some, like I said, it could be the career part of it, okay? But the light you're going to shine on this through time is going to thaw out what you need to thaw out and create the water, which is the emotions, enough for you to get out of this sort of state that you're in. So you have Empress energy, which we were feeling, abundance, fertility, okay, divine feminine, beauty, nurture. So like I said, I wasn't sure if you had too much masculine or feminine. I mean, too much, what you're sort of predominant in, but there's a need to balance in a healthy way. And so healthy feminine energy is knowing when we don't have to take action and do things, or we have to be open and receptive to the universe. But this would require us to get out of scarcity mindset, because this is all abundance. This is the universe providing. You know, and here I see a peacock collar, and so for me, I'm getting peacock ego, which we felt when we put the cards down, and the collar, talking about the control. When we wear a collar, we're being controlled by our ego. I feel you're being controlled by your ego right now, you know, and it's not, because I feel I always need to explain this, and people have a very misconstrued sort of idea of what the ego is. We can have good ego, bad ego. Both need to go, you know, both need to go. And why is because the ego is what's creating the distortion. You know, I'm a good person because of this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, we build attachments to this. We start to identify as that being our being. And so we upkeep towers. We're none of those things. Okay, we are pure being. And every moment we're someone who we've not been in the past. Okay, we're just who we are in this present moment. And so I feel like there's a control of the ego here, which is limiting your abundance. And I think it's getting in the way of some sort of love, because I feel like the emotions here are blocked, like emotionally. We're not feeling it from the Empress place, unconditional love, you know? So there's a block here. And I feel like this match, this light, this shine, this heat is going to thaw out any sort of egoic control, so we can work with unconditional love here and produce with the fertility the manifestation that will bring you the stability and the 4 wands of union, masculine, feminine energy. Okay, so Queen of Swords in reverse. Yeah, there's many things I get from here. One, the Queen of Swords talks about our wisdom, you know, through our experience and our knowledge, and we get clear to act on this. So in the reverse, I feel like your high self is saying, yes, we are here to experience what we have, but I feel as though there is a need for us to be very aware that we're not just taking action based on past set of circumstances here, you know, because in truth, it would be blind action, because it's not responsive to the present moment. It's in response to programming of past experience. So I know this is very wordy, and I'm not trying to make it this way, okay? So I hope this is resonating for you guys. Here we have strength, ambition, truth. Okay, and yes, the Queen of Swords is about truth, but I feel there is the objective truth of the universe, which is all abundant, and then there's the truth that we experience and believe to be our truth, which is an illusion, and that's the devil we were picking up. And so when we take action on our truth, sometimes we're acting in line with the devil, the ego. And so we're really not seeing clearly. We're not awake. We're not awake. We're not taking action on truth. And so I don't feel you're taking action on truth. I feel you are, you know, or at some point maybe you think you see clearly. or you believe to be acting in line with a great truth, but I feel like it's acting in line with a scarcity mindset. It's acting in line with them versus me, like I'm a separate self, a separate being. And I feel this is what's causing the frozen state or the dry state or the lackluster here. And it's also creating an imbalance in you having union here. And it could be in a relationship, or it could be just the relationship with self, creating. So the false self needs to fall in the world around it. That's being based on your actions today and your understanding, your own understanding of how you engage in the world. Because I think you're actually more blind than you think. Okay. Yeah, death. So this is the massive transformation, which we're feeling from the butterfly and from the Scorpio energy I was getting. And it's like going from a sleep state to awakened state is the transformation. So what is your high self saying? Well, Scorpio energy, Cancer energy, and Taurus energy, Libra energy, Aquarius energy, and Gemini and Libra. Yeah. So it says transformation, new beginnings. Okay, new beginnings, change. Begin again. Yeah, begin again. I feel like there's a rebirth. So I feel like you're being reborn as your pure self, and it's going to take some time. And sometimes we're not really how do I say this? Sometimes it happens, it's happening, and we're not the creator of it. Like some people seek enlightenment and they go and they create this transformation for themselves. And sometimes we're just on that path and on that journey of that transformation. And so we could get stuck and frozen for some time, but I feel like eventually we sort of feel our way out, through the sort of process within itself. But it could be frustrating if we're stuck in sort of void spaces where we're not quite sure what's happening or how we can navigate or encourage, facilitate the change. And so I feel like the transformation is happening whether you like it or not. False self is falling, and we might feel like, what are we supposed to really be focusing on or doing here? And we may start to question truths, because now we can't even sort of rely on what we used to. It's no longer true and clear to us, so it becomes kind of scary, because we still don't see really the authentic self, but now we see the false self maybe falling and not sure then. So what is the truth, right? So there's a need to trust the divine. Ask the divine through prayer and through trust, through belief. You will be fed information, through your dreams, through reflection, contemplation, meditation, through all this. Okay, it's important for you to trust this, your own intuition and divine. Okay, this transformation is happening, and what you can do, your high self is saying, is create the space between you and the ego, and know that there is a lot of illusion that you might still be acting on out of program and habitual things, and it's blocking your manifestation. So just work on releasing these as they fall off gradually. There's no need to reject it or push it away or suppress or persistently avoid or reject. Sit in it, like actually sit in it. Don't energetically charge it and any of that stuff, but sit in that energy until you can understand it. And that's the only time it will come out and make itself available. Otherwise, it goes hide in your shadow. It doesn't want to be seen if you're going to keep, judging it or rejecting it. So there's a need to see it, accept it, and then we can work with it, transmute it, integrate it, and have movement here. Okay, so I feel you're having a spiritual awakening, a shift, a dark night of the soul, an ego death, whatever you want to call it. And this is what your high self is saying, how to go about it. Okay, it recognizes you're in this sort of frozen, dry state for now, but the light is coming. The light is coming. Okay, the light comes, but you bring the light. This isn't an outside source that's coming kind of to your rescue. Yes, the divine's there, but it's the Christ within you. Okay, it's the light within you. And you get guided here by the divine, because you're an extension of the divine. But through you, it ignites you and inspires you. And so here we see the new beginning. Okay, the new beginning is the new you, but it takes time, just like a birth would take 9 months. It takes time for this to incubate properly. Okay, So this is what I have, pile 1. I hope this resonated for you guys. I love you very much, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello. Pile number 2. You guys picked the blue marker, and we're looking at your high self. And what exactly is your high self suggesting or advising you do next? What are you supposed to be doing here on your path? And so I use high self lightly because this would suggest there's 2 separate yous, and there isn't. Okay, there's just your authentic being. You are a extension of source, creator, energy. Okay, so this is coming from divine source, but your high self knows your soul mission and everything you've kind of gone through energetically here as a being. And so your high self wants to give you guidance here. So do use your intuition. What you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this messaging is right for you. Only you could do this, okay? And this is done predominantly through the card layout for you to tap into your intuition. But if you want, you can skip straight away to the reading. I will put a timestamp there, unless, of course, the channeling is predominantly through the layout, which sometimes happens here. So let's take a look. Pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at them. See what we see. So we have progressions and journey, 56. Oh my goodness. Okay. So are we in an enlightenment journey? Everyone's sort of on a journey, but if we're asleep, we might not know we're on a journey, right? Number 11 is a master number. That's divine inspiration. It's also about synchronicities and the encouragement to keep going. And here we see the clock, which is divine timing. Time obviously doesn't exist in relative with energy here. So I feel, well, let's see, because I'm getting quite a bit pulling through with this progressions and journey. So we have Jupiter, abundance. Oh my goodness, look at that. So number 23 or the number 5. So Jupiter is the ruling planet for Sagittarius and Pisces. A very abundant planet. Let's see what pulls through here. Curiosity 11 again. So now we have 1111. Okay, 1111 is really about being on that journey, that we know we're aligned with something here greater. There's some great purpose here. It's a divine timing really pulling through. So now we have all these crows. And one crow's kind of wandering off here with curiosity. Okay. And we have commitment, number 8. 2 crows in a nest. Okay, well, 8 is about movement, change, and attainment. It is also the star reduced in the tarot, which is, like attaining a vision or a hope. It's also healing and destiny, divine timing. And then strength is 8. Strength, which is courage to face our fears. Curiosity to face a fear here of something that could be quite abundant. A lot of you guys might be seeing signs, symbols, synchronicities, dreams. Might have a very intense sort of energy trying to pull you towards something that is very abundant. And you might be in resistance here. I'm not sure yet. I don't see resistance, but I'm just intuitively picking this up for whatever reason. Maybe we're concerned what other people might think, or the voices or the conflict we have. We'll pick this up as we go. Vulnerability. This confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. Don't let fear hold you back or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somehow a negative condition. Yeah. I think there's something you're wanting to commit to. You know, could be a relationship for sure, but it would require you to be seen differently, or even accept yourself as someone different than maybe what you told yourself, and it conflicts with that, causes conflict. So it's an image thing, you know, but there is curiosity to follow up on this, but it would require you to be vulnerable. But I feel like whatever this is great abundance here for you. So I don't know why we would resist an abundance. And again, divine timing, destiny's coming in, some sort of progression on your own soul journey here, your own soul growth. Now, transformation, the butterfly. This is also being liberated and free. And So Scorpio energy with the transformation, but here it's in butterfly state. So it goes from, I guess, the egg to the caterpillar to the chrysalis to this butterfly. And so butterfly is the final state. And I feel like this is interesting too, because yellow is solar plexus and blue is throat chakra. And so when we're talking about the three lower chakras, it's the root, sacral, and the solar plexus. And then we have the heart in the middle, okay, which is where masculine, feminine energy meet in the heart center. It's not ruled by either. And then you have the top three, which is the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra. And so I feel like there's like a going from maybe the lower chakras and the solar plexus into the throat chakra, which is the higher level. So now we're more connected with the divine energy, or not in so much matrix, okay, with the lower three chakras. And also with the blue, I'm really getting self-expression, like aligning ourselves with self-expression, specifically emotions, communicating authenticity. And this would require us being vulnerable. Okay, the founder, foundations, and community. So I was getting that from these crows. So you might have a community of people, or an upbringing, like the family upbringing, the community upbringing, the version of self that we've created because of the community. And so now we could be forced with sort of a decision, or we're in a crossroads with the two rats. But I feel the rats are symbolizing that pesky thing that just keeps gnawing at us and gnawing at us. And I feel the gnawing at us is a call to make a decision. And I feel like one decision could be not aligned with our authenticity, with the sort of truth pointing down. And the other decision would require us to put in some sort of work here. And so we might sit in the crossroads not doing either here and feeling the gnawing of something here. So if we align with the non-authentic version, that would sit with us not very well, but that's the version maybe we've created. And so here we see the sun rising, which is illuminating some sort of truth here. But I feel like for whatever reason, we're not quite at the point where we can be putting in that effort towards the thing. Something's gnawing at us. And I think the gnawing is, if we were to do this, it would align with our truest self-expression, but it would go against this community upbringing, or this self-speak, or this identity we've created. And I feel like this is the committed energy, putting the energy towards the committed thing that would provide the abundance to lay a foundation. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that came a lot through there. Songbird, objectification, yearning, and feeling trapped. Yeah, I feel you feel trapped because I'm getting two swords energy. I feel you can't go either sort of which way here. Although I feel here, the one that's going to provide abundance is the one that's aligned with the authenticity that would require you to be vulnerable. But for some reason, we still feel trapped here. Songbird, objectification, yearning. Yeah, there's a yearning here, a curiosity to go and fly the coop, set oneself free, transform, progress on this journey. Why aren't we doing it? Surrender to joy. Yes. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering to more joy. Beautiful. That's the sun coming out. I feel the sun's coming out. Something that brings you abundance and joy. And we might be feeling like that would require some sort of vulnerability. And so we're resisting our joy. Spirit guardian of summer, expansion. Summer is very joyful here. Okay, the sun's out in the joy. Expansion is this beautiful transformation and this abundance, this progression. I'm feeling the expansion. 3 wands. So we have 37, and it could be significant number, or 10. 10 is all about transformation. Ends of cycles. It's also Wheel of Fortune, which I was getting from the clock here. Divine timing. Okay, and also 10 is the sun reduced, which is all about being enlightened and being in line with our bliss and our truth. And there's a tree is all full of abundance here. Like here's the cornucopia, all the fruit. Here's the fruit growing off this tree, something expansive. And here we see the yellow bird Okay, so I'm getting solar plexus energy again. And solar plexus is our will, you know, our confidence. But when we're really in the solar plexus energy, it could be in an energy of I feel it's like the ego that wants to have its way or do its way, but it's really needing to integrate itself into tapping into something more divine with the higher chakras, not what we can see so much or understand, but what we can feel. Yes, which I think we were pulling through from, I don't know, where were we picking that up? Oh, here. Yeah, navigating with the intuition. The canary. Is that a canary? I don't know. I'm hearing canary. I see the canary in the coal mine, and the canary has to sort of navigate through the dark here, but it is using the intuition in order to get to the abundance. Spirit guardians of the summer. Okay, so summer is beautiful. Summer is this joy. Lead. So here we have the black and white, masculine, feminine. Lead is a very sort of heavy energy. It could be oppressed or feeling trapped, feeling stuck. It's either this or that. I was getting with the two swords, right? What's right, what's wrong? Duality. Is it this or is it that? And if I choose this, then there's that. I feel there's a decision I feel you're having to make, but you're seeing it as black and white or good or bad because of some conflict or some sort of perception that might be upon you. Like an 8 swords sort of energy here. Okay, here's the uncreated. And so, I mean, this definitely looks like a feminine part, but it's like what you can give birth to here hasn't been born yet because the work or the commitment hasn't been attributed to this. But it's like a clean slate. And there I see the rainbow, which is all about the hope and seeing different ways of creating this thing. So what is this? 43 could be a significant number for you. The number 7, faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding, also chariot energy. And the tower. Okay, so gold, 26, or the number 8. Okay, 8 pulling through yet again. 8 is all about movement, change, and attainment. So chariot was movement as well. Gold status. Wow. Beautiful. And so we have the bridge. This is transformation. Moving from one side to the other. I think we're in one energy. And we might be sitting at the bridge. Or we might be in one side trying to get to the other. Something we got a bridge here. And with the chariot too, yeah. In order to get to the joy. But I don't know that you're at the joy or you're taking that. That's taking that. The heart, yes. So the heart doesn't lie. And the heart isn't sitting in the yellow, which is the solar plexus. The heart is doing what we sort of intuitively feel rather than we intellectually sort of know. We remove all the voices in the conflict in order to listen to the heart. Something that moves you, speaks to your heart. I'm feeling unconditional love. Empress energy here from 31, or the number 4. And 4 is all about the structure, foundations. Okay, the founder, foundations, and community. Foundations and planning, which I get with the worker mouse here, whatever, like planning, committing to working on the foundation, the planning, the stability, the commitment of where the heart is rowing you. And look, the nest energy again, the nest. What you're building here, what you're building as your sort of safe place, your home, your family with the nest here. Okay. Synergy, 41, or the number 5. So it says, the frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and union that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. Okie dokie. And finally, Saturn with 50. Saturn's a ruling planet for Capricorn. And Aquarius is pulling through as well. Wow. structured way. Okay, with lead, I'm feeling Capricorn energy as well. Okay, so let me sit here with this energy pile too, okay? And then we'll get into this channeling, although I don't know if I'm going to put the timestamp solely to the channeling, because I feel a lot's come through the card layout. We'll see. Okay, pile 2. Like I said in the intro, okay, generally the energy around you, your energy pulls through. This could be you, someone around you, I don't know. It could be your situation, whatever's going on here, but I'm going to read this as you, and you make of it what you will, okay? If it doesn't resonate, go check out another pile. So this energy I'm tapped into here. You're being called, pulled to something absolutely fucking amazing. Beautiful. It's opening your heart. I feel you feel it in your soul. Okay, it's your joy. Makes you happy. I think there's a little bit of in denial happening here because we're sitting not knowing what to do with this. And so we sit here hesitant, not taking action on this abundance, not doing what we were feeling pulled to do here in order to grow and expand and move towards this so we could transform and be free and liberated and happy on the other side. There's something you're pulled to create here that's all abundant, that's going to change your world, and it changes the way you've been functioning. But I feel like your high self is telling you that you're sitting here humming and hawing in some way because there's these internal voices or literal voices or your community of how you were brought up or raised or your understanding, your belief system structure, your hierophant here has you thinking that this isn't you or that you couldn't do. And so you're kind of curious about this thing, although I think it goes deeper than this. And I feel like you're applying your old mind, rational thought and logic to a situation here which might not make a whole lot of sense logically to you. And it is coming from heart. And the heart supersedes the mind because the heart knows the truth. And so I feel there's love here. There's something very abundant here. Beautiful. Okay, very beautiful. And so you're being called because this is the soul growth. Your soul is being called to learn and experience. You're on a journey here of soul growth, expansion, bringing this beautiful abundance into your world. And so you need to overcome this challenge. The challenge is really the limiting thought or system we've told ourselves or believe of self that keeps us not open to this. And it would require us to be vulnerable. Because if we feel foolish to go where our heart calls us, when all our life we've been told we had to be sort of more logical, with the Saturn, it's more of the what we see with our brain intellect here, rather than our heart intelligence. Okay, so I feel like there is something about your divine path, what you're really called to. You are called to experience this beautiful joy and abundance here. Okay, that absolutely doesn't really make a whole lot of sense logically to you. And I feel this is what you're being called, because there's a creation here you'll do once you get there, but you have to sort of align yourself and make the choice and be committed to what it takes to work towards this, because I think it's going to bring you more in line with your authentic expression. Because I feel right now maybe your confidence is sitting in a different place, the confidence of more of a lower 3 chakras here, matrix confidence, rather than sort of more of a spiritual confidence in self, which could certainly be listening to the heart and then being led by the intuition and the authentic expression of self, not the self that might be more seeing with the eyes and experiencing and the blocks in the lower chakras that have been created over a period of time through our family, our friends, and our community. Okay, so I feel like there's a foundation you're about to build here. Could be a family, but it's secure and it's safe. I think it's safe to fall. I think it's safe to rely on. I think it's safe to commit to, depend on, to create this stability, this security. I feel it's safe for you. It's going to provide you safety, security, and make you feel, I don't know, like I'm getting warm, safe, secure, love, protected. Okay, but I feel like how we're seeing this sort of thing is like then all this other stuff I have to sort of come to terms with. So it's kind of like, ooh, we might be seeing this very black and white, like it's this or that. And so in order for me to embrace my joy, follow my heart, throw my intellect out the window, then what happens on the other side of this thing, right? My family, my friends, my belief system, or whatever the thing is here. And so we're really sort of still attached in the matrix world to this. But I feel like this is us sort of in some energy here that we need to be very aware of, and detach any sort of identification we might have, because it's not our true self. It is the voice of others. It is a belief that we might have carried without examining. It is a false self story narrative program thing that is not allowing you to experience vulnerability in this and commit to this thing. Okay, but I feel like that is your journey. That is where the most progress is going to happen for you, where you can create something here, and it's different than what you're used to. It's the gold in your world. You haven't quite transitioned to the other side here, but it would require you, with all this rainbow energy, to see things differently with the hangman. And sometimes the hangman is ostracized because of his viewpoint. It's completely, different. And so we might just not want to be that outrageous, and it could be that outrageous to ourselves. It goes against everything we believed or thought so. Because what do we really believe? I feel there's a greater truth here, so we might really be hanging on to the fact that being vulnerable might look weak, or throwing logic out the window and making decisions based on feelings is something weak or ridiculous or not true, or just, I don't know. And we might have built with the Saturn here an already established thing, or an already established community, or an already established career, family structure, whatever our Hierophant world is. But it's not in line with the authentic joy that's coming in now. And so this is difficult. When we have the established Hierophant, when we have that built and we've devoted ourselves and committed ourselves to it for a long period of time, and then our true joy comes in line with our authentic expression, we might not want to see it, and so it creates us avoiding or not being certain. What do I do with the established Hierophant or the established thing? And then we feel really stuck and trapped. And I feel the only reason you feel stuck and trapped is because you're devoting or committing yourself to the thing you've always have or believed to be the thing that is needing the security or needing the safety, at the expense of aligning yourself with the true authentic expression of what you're really feeling, because the heart is pulling you towards this. So has to be a way for you to integrate and work with this without shutting the feelings in the heart, working with your current state, so you can integrate that into a doable energy to create with the synergy in this uncreated. You and this new thing here, with this abundance, is going to create the world around you, and it's going to be very different, very different than what you're used to. And so this could be scary, but I feel like this is you sort of being very well-rounded with all areas of yourself, okay? So the frequency of synergy supports our allowance to accept, the frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. Okay, and being, very important. And it reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that the new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. Your world is just going to crack open here, very different than what you're used to here, but it's totally in line with your journey and progression here, and with your soul. Okay, and it's going to provide you great abundance here. I feel this is a big blessing. It's the gift that sort of keeps on giving here to you. Like, look at this beautiful joy. Like, this is how in line you're going to feel, like floating. Okay, but floating, yes, but I feel it's also a grounding energy here, because it provides you with a balance in order for you to feel safe, secure with this nest here. Okay, because I feel right now, what you're feeling, if this is your pile, I feel like you feel trapped, or like you're kind of not sure, or like, can't go this way or that way. Like, what am I supposed to do? Or what do I commit to? Or how do I get out of this sort of state? Like, I want to just go back to what I was doing, or, I wish I could then just take this risk or this chance, but then now I'm thinking about like the stability or the structure I built. So we're torn sort of either way. I feel damned if I do, damned if I don't. You know? So let's see. What does the tarot say? Because, well, it's your high self, but what's the tarot going to show us here? Because I feel your high self is encouraging you to commit to the way of the heart, you know, but I feel like the heaviness and attachment you really have created is really more of a an attachment to that world you created, which is no longer in line, so it becomes an illusion. It's not authentically aligned. So although your structure does exist, your narration or your attachment to it or your story to this thing is the lie. You know, because everything sort of that is built at one point in time eventually no longer exists. Temporary energy. And so it could be something that's been upkept for some time, but it's time for you to expand. It's time for your soul to expand. And for some of you guys, like I mentioned in the layout, it could be in a relationship, creating a family with a nest. Okay, but maybe we already have some sort of established thing, you know, maybe we've been very focused on work, maybe we already have an existing sort of family situation. But I feel like this would require you being very vulnerable and exposed, maybe, you know, exposing certain parts of self. And here this crow's looking at the rubber boots, and rubber boots we wear when it's raining, and rain is signifying emotions. And emotions could be out of control, you know, and we're vulnerable. We don't know how to navigate our emotions with the rain boots, but we're being required to go navigate these emotions in the rain. And we might be resisting. So, spirits, clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. What is their high self suggesting pile to do right here, right now? Actually, I'm feeling it like this. For pile 2, clear and concise. Look at the Wheel of Fortune, which we were totally feeling from the first card. And what's that? 8 swords? 5 swords. Okay. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Oh, 8 swords right there. That's funny. I honestly didn't even see that. Feeling 8 swords all over the place in this reading, and it's the first card that came out. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Lovers. Yeah. You guys, I don't know, you know, why my readings are so like, I don't know. I feel like at some point I'm not even really going to need these cards because the story is always coming through here. I did a reading on this the other day with the lovers kept coming out. This is this commitment to the path, you know, the choice. The lovers is the choice. There's a destined partnership, you know, a destined path here, a choice we have to make, and we're being blind. And we're being blind here. And I feel like it's frustrating and we feel we cannot. But the only reason we feel we cannot is because of a doing of our own belief. Like I said, the birds here, you know, we were told. And so there's a voice within us or external to us still going on, telling us what we can and cannot do. And it's our parents' voice in us. It's a belief, a way we lived our life. It's an understanding we really think is true. And it's not. And it's causing the anxiety and the frustration. And it's causing you not to choose the path of the union, of the partner, of the happiness, of the joy, because of all the fear it might create in the other side, which is 8 swords. So it's causing this conflict in your world. It's causing 5 swords, okay, where nobody wins. It's conflict, okay? So I see the snake here. Snake is all about healing, having to shed old. And I see the ace of swords, which is all about truth, and it's pointing up because that is the authentic expression with the blue throat chakra, authentic expression. And the authentic expression only comes when we allow the healing and the shedding of the old with the snake. Okay? And so we need to shed something here. And now with more snake energy here, okay, this is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is our destined divine path. The universe is taking the wheel here to allow us to move in the right direction, to have expansion on this journey. Everything in divine timing here with the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, and so if we resist what the universe is trying to allow us to flow towards and move towards, we cause 5 swords. Okay, and so we need to heal. Now I'm seeing fire. I'm assuming these are the 4 elements, although I see fire, wind. These look like clouds and crystals, but I don't know what's pulling through here with the 4 elements here. Maybe a need for balance. I'm not sure, but what I am picking up with the snake all coiled up is kind of nest energy again. Like the snake will coil like this around its eggs, around its babies. We're protecting something here. Karma, destiny, it says. Okay, so I feel you're experiencing a 5 swords right now, you know, and it's by your own creation, although we might not want to accept that as a truth, but it's because we can't get clear and take action on our authentic self, which would require us to be vulnerable. That is the conflict. That is what's creating 5 swords. We feel we cannot, you know, so we're frustrated and we got to make this choice. Okay, Page of Cups in reverse. We're not listening to the heart space. Page of Cups is the beginning stages of opening our heart space. Okay, this is fun, magic, love. Like this is like flirtation and being vulnerable. Like this, sometimes the Page of Cups is even more vulnerable than, you know, the King of Cups or the Queen of Cups, because the page is the first stage, is like a child being curious with what this feels like. So I feel like we're resisting and we're blocking what love could feel like or what the heart wants us to do. And so we've blocked this. We're not following this, you know, the harmony that the divine is wanting you to experience here in a partnership, or the divine path. Okay, it doesn't have to maybe be a person. It could just be a path towards our joy. But I feel the joy here is going to provide the abundance and great blessing here to you, like a shitload of beautiful things here. So here we see the snake again climbing up the Ace of Wands. Okay, so I'm really seeing the Ace of Swords here, even though I know this is 5 swords, because I feel you've been 5 swords for a bit. You know, the upheaval, the conflict in creating upheaval, feeling the loss because we're not quite in line with the heart space yet. But I feel like the new beginning in truth would be required once we heal. And then this Ace of Wands is a new beginning that's inspired, you know, after this healing, like, or inspired to heal this part of self. Is like a really strong message here from your high self. It's like you need to heal. You don't need to do anything. You're perfect as you are, although you are here for a reason. And your high self is saying, if you want to get out of 5 swords, if you want to feel free, if you want to get out of 8 swords, the universe wants you to move and expand. You would need to then heal the part of you that is resisting a new beginning, that is going against your truth, and that you're inspired to act towards. You're resisting this new beginning, getting in the way of this. Okay, so needing to heal this. And how do we heal it? We need to really understand why we're 8 swords and admit a truth, you know, not suppress it, not attribute those voices or whatever story to be a truth, but see it for what it is. Because I think we're blind. We think it's a truth and it's not. It's not a truth. So play devil's advocate. What is this limitation? You know, what is this limitation? And am I just telling myself this and so I believed it, but I never really scrutinized it? Because I am free to chase this or to walk into this or to embrace this. Really where I'm trapped is where I'm at, is the state I'm at. Yeah, 3 pentacles working together. Okay, this says success, enterprise, talent, teaching. So this is cooperating with another to create synergy. The third thing, to manifest the third thing. 2 entities, you and your creative place, person, to create the baby. Okay, the uncreated here. Create the baby, create the family. So yeah, there's 3 pentacles. It would require you to open your heart space in order to show up and create. 7 of Cups. Yeah, we're in the confusing energy. We're not sure what to choose. This is like muddled thinking, not thinking clearly because we can't see. And so we leave all options open and we have maybe a fantasy of what it could be like, but we don't really choose. And so we need to choose wisely and get out of the confusion, which would allow us to work. Like I said, the worker rat, during the layout, the worker rat's putting the energy to show up in order to choose a cup wisely. Okay, one of these cups is the healing with the snake. And here we're seeing the elements again. So, and then the rainbow, which is changing our perspective. So I feel like there's a need to understand that you're aligned to go down a path of choosing your destined partner or creation that speaks to your heart, that goes against everything you've sort of understood. It would require you to get out of the confusion, and this would require you to open your heart space here. And so I think what you're really needing to do right now is look at this trapped Eight of Swords and the Mother Star, and it says yes. So this is a special card in this tarot pack. There's a yes and a no, okay, and this yes is in reverse, and we could have got the no card, okay, which would have been sort of a more of a what's that called, a solid answer of no, right? But I feel like it's a yes, but we're not taking the yes like it's the creative thing that exists, it's the universe that's abundant, it's the opening that's welcome here, but we are blind to see it, and so the yes is blocked. The creation with the mother, you know, the mother here with this, I was seeing like the feminine part here to birth the uncreated thing, the manifestation, it needs to start. It's blocked, okay, but it's a yes here for you, but you'd have to choose it. Only you could do this by showing up and acknowledging your Eight Swords here. Why you say you cannot down this path or choose this. Choose to align yourself with the love. Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, so we're blocking this. I said I felt 3 wands from this expansion. Okay, 3 wands in reverse is not getting on the ship, not expanding, not going on the journey, not progressing in life or on this thing, or sort of stuck where we're at because of a thing. And so the universe says, well, let's get on this ship. Let's move forward. Let's have change. Let's grow. Let's expand. But we need to take action here, you know? And so I feel this blocked. So your high self wants you to examine this, okay? Now let's just see. What is, put that there. This 8 Swords, can we get, just for a pile too, any sort of indication here with this 8 Swords that's going to help them? You know, I do feel it's you guys with your Hierophant and your understanding, but it's all built on attachment of a thing you've created, and so we might need Tower. What does pile 2 need to know about this 8 Swords that's going to help them? So 5 Pentacles in reverse. So it keeps us in lack mindset. This is when we're unawakened and we have something like 5 Pentacles happen, 5 Swords, 5 Pentacles. It's challenging. It feels like we might miss out, but this is, yeah, like a lack mindset where we don't feel like the universe is all abundant all the time. And so we feel at a loss. We feel separate from the universe. We feel like we're separate, but we're not. And we could get out of 5 Pentacles when we embrace the truth that all abundance does exist, and we're choosing, whether we like to accept this or not, choosing to stay in a 5 Pentacle state, in the loss, in the hardship, in the struggle. We don't have to. You come out of this, okay? So you're blind to the fact you think you're in a 5 struggling conflict, but you're not really. You know, like, yes, you are experiencing this, but you're not really there outside of your own sort of trapped doing. Yeah, the devil, you're trapped there. And 6 Wands. And so 6 Wands to me is ego, okay? But the 6 Wands, oh my goodness, spirits, yes, is what I was feeling from these birds, because like I said, it's the community of people that might judge us. The 6 Wands is us being sort of appreciated and celebrated by other people, like being celebrated, and they're celebrating our victories, and they're giving us accolades, and we're being in the public eye. And so I feel like there's something about how you're seen, and it could be your own self-perception. That's ego again, like I'm to be seen as this type of a person, and so I'm not a vulnerable person, or I'm non-committal type person, or I'm an independent person, or I'm a father type person that's created the stability, or I'm a secure type person to this thing, or committed to this thing, and this is who I am, how I'm seen, how I succeed, what success means to me. But all of this is a lie and a devil. This is coming from the shadow, coming from the fear, coming from the 8 Swords. Because of these thoughts, we are now trapped and attached to that attachment. Therefore, we cannot see that we're actually limiting ourselves from the joy of choosing the heart path. And so it traps our expansion from actual soul growth. We're stuck here, okay? Believing that we're succeeding in some way, but it's really just feeding this devil energy. It's feeding the devil energy, okay? And so I feel like The thing you can't see is the fact that it's limiting you. But I think you can actually see the devil, I feel, in this pile. And why you can see the devil, you might not think it's the devil, but I think you see it because I think you're not happy. And I think you feel stuck. And so sometimes when we just see when we're in devil, we don't maybe feel stuck because we're giving into the impulse, and it's all about this lusty sort of energy, and it's like, you know, but I feel you feel 5 pentacles and 5 swords. And so now we know we're in devil. Now we know we're stuck. But instead of doing what we need to, again, the healing, which is being truthful about what this devil means and accepting, because I feel we still haven't accepted the fact that we don't want to be perceived in a certain way, either by ourselves or by others around us or a community. And so we're still here, you know, saying, but I still gotta keep this. Well, you're still in the devil, and this is what's limiting you, and this is negative thought here, okay, which is going to keep you in the 5 pentacles. And so your high self is like, only you can get out. Acknowledge what the devil is, you know, acknowledge where the true victory lies. The victory lies in the heart, in the choice that's divine and aligned. And right now you're aligning with something that's no longer aligned with the heart. It might be aligned with an intellect or a way of life of the past that made sense with the owl. You know, it's like I think it's an intellect of a wisdom that you've experienced. And so your mind and your brain and your experience is, yes, this is right to do the stand-up thing or to align with my experience. And yes, but I feel like now you're being thrown this curveball by the universe, which experience out the window. When the heart comes in, it is the most true thing here. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. We need to tap into this sort of higher chakras, okay? Work with the divine, listen to our intuition. I'm going to read this one again. This is a confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory, okay? Unfamiliar wouldn't be owl here. So where decisions are more based on intuition rather than rationality. Don't let fear hold you back, okay? We might not be dressing it up as fear, but that's what this is, okay? Hold you back or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somehow a negative condition, okay? And that's what we're doing here, I feel, okay? So open the heart space, show up what's aligned with the heart here, and that's what I have. Pile number 2, this was an intense reading. Wow, I love you guys very much. I hope you guys got some help in some way, shape, or form from this message. Remember, like, if it doesn't feel right for you, then leave those for someone else, okay? But just the overall gist of what's going on here is what your high self wanted to communicate with you in regards to potentially someone around you or what's going on in a situation near you, okay? So I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 3. You guys picked the purple lilac color marker, and we're looking at your high self and what guidance, advice is your high self wanting to give to you in regards to what should you be doing next, okay? Next on your path, what should you be focused on here should be, again, I use this very lightly because you don't have to do anything here, but if you're feeling like there's something you want to be focused on or having movement towards, then your high self is pulling through. And again, high self I use loosely because that would imply that there's 2 selves, and there really isn't, okay? There's just your truest, authentic, pure self pulling through, which is an extension of divine being that knows all of your energetic history, your past lives, and where you're at in your enlightenment path, okay? And so your high self is going to pull through here with guidance to your next steps. So I have not looked at these. I do ask you to use your own intuition, what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this messaging is right for you. Only you could do this. Okay, so let's see. We have Capricorn with achieve, the number 10. Beautiful. So some of you guys might resonate as a Capricorn sun, moon, rising. Sometimes they pull energy around you. Okay, so if it's not your energy directly, it could be someone around you, a situation you're dealing with. So take what resonates here for you, okay? So 10, completion, ends of cycle, and transformation. Achieve, okay. And we have Aquarius with collaborate, number 11. 11, a master number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, encouragement to keep going. So we have achieve, and certainly Saturn is the ruling planet for both Capricorn and Aquarius here. And we have Saturn pulling through as a very determined sort of energy with this achieve, and with the number 11, because that is the encouragement to keep going. Collaborate. Okay. Star energy. Star energy, hope to keep going with something. Maybe, are we losing hope with something? Maybe. Let's see. Trine sextile with symbiosis. Look at that. Symbiosis. 52, or the number 7. 7 again with movement. Because the Chariot, faith, wisdom, and reflection. I don't know, maybe, really feel discouraged is kind of what's going through here. 17 exposed, and it's the star energy with 17, or the number 8, exposed. A hawk and a crow. And the hawk looks like it's about to hunt. Okay, lots of birds. And we have grief, 22. 22, a master number. This is peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy, energetic boundaries, and divinely guided relationships. Look at these two birds looking at this dead bird. And all these crows. Grief. Okay, and then we have ground yourself. Being distracted, unfocused, tired, irritated, and impatient are all signs that you're ungrounded. Now's the time to become centered and allow spirits to help you ground yourself and reconnect with the divine source. More birds. And tree. Okay, and 22 is the number 4, which is stability. Trees about stability. And grounded. Okay, stillness with the beautiful white swan. So white is purity, the pure self. Stillness could be the authentic self here. Okay, more white birds pulling through. Swan is about love. We have the Archer, biding your time and planning ahead. So the Archer is Sagittarius energy, like taking aim, like achieving something. Sagittarius energy. Aquarius and Libra as well, and we have Aquarius here. The Archer, okay. And here we have perfume, vanity, deception, and performativity. Okay, I feel what this one's coming through, and I always get ego, but I feel like something on the surface is looking one way, smelling bad, or smelling up in one way, maybe smelling good. It appears one way, I feel here, but I feel like there's something about it appears one way, but it's another. Okay, let's see. And here we have doll, childhood play, and naivety. This is always inner child energy when I get to doll. Okay, and then we have surrender the drama. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Okay. It's about getting grounded as well. And we have bluebell fairy with gratitude. Look at the bluebells. They have this purpley color to them. Number 6. 6 is lover's energy, which is getting lover's love from the swan. A choice. And here we see the buck, which is emperor energy. Getting empowered. Masculine energy. Aries energy. Gratitude. Gratitude. Okay. And here we have wise salt. So based on an understanding of an experience, a knowing through experience. 28, or the number 10. 10 pulled through at the beginning here. Okay, wise salt. And what else? And the despicable face. Number 48. The number 12. Okay, despicable face. And it's like looking one way, but it's another. Okay. The drowned king. Wow. 49. Okay. So this could be an ego death. Okay. And here we have the king. Oh my goodness, the drowned king and the king. Number 12. 12 is hangman energy. 12 is the number 3, which is about growth, relationships, and initial success. Hangman, empress, divine feminine energy. Okay. And then we have the judge. Number 14, which is temperance energy. So Sagittarius and Libra energy pulling through here. I'm feeling it like this. And here we have the heart chakra. The frequency of heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. Number 4, for stability. Okay, and then here we have Uranus with Pluto, 61, or the number 7. Yeah, like, well, Uranus is the unexpected, you know, the thinking outside the box, the unplanned, and Pluto's the shadow. So maybe it's how do we deal with the unexpected and the shadow parts here? We might be avoiding or not seeing, or it's dressed up in some certain way. And here we have Neptune and Pluto. So Pluto pulling through twice, 63, or the number 9. Okay, and Neptune's more of a dreamy type energy here, fantasy-like energy. Okay. So let me sit here with this, and you guys can skip ahead. Okay, I'm going to definitely have to pull tarot for this group, but some things are very coming out very loud here. Okay, I feel like there is an energy here that I'm reading, and I'll read this as yours, that is still tied to ego in a way that isn't helping. Okay, now ego in any which way usually doesn't really help in this day and age. Even if it is a positive ego, it could be destructive, okay? But the ego here, I feel, is creating an illusion or a perception of something that's going on that really isn't. It really isn't here. And so it's getting in the way of you attaining and achieving or accomplishing what actually matters here, okay? And we know that's, you know, we don't need to attain or grab onto anything in the material world for us to feel any sort of way. But I feel like the path here and the destined thing that we're supposed to be sort of aligned with is more in line with an authenticity rather than a false self or belief. And so I feel like there's a calling here for you to see yourself in a true way that would require you to become very honest. And I know this sounds difficult when we're in shadow to know what an honest truth is here, but I feel like this energy that you're in is really pulled to matrix. And so when we're pulled to matrix, is causing all sorts of suffering, and it is leaving us open to more suffering. And so as things happen, we're wrapped up in the things happening, and we're actually contributing to our suffering and contributing to the pains and sufferings that's going on around us, even though we might feel as though we are avoiding it or doing the right thing, or actually what we're doing right now. Okay, this is very clear, and let it kind of sink in. Okay, what we're doing right now, I don't care what it is, if this is your pile, whatever you're doing, it is creating the suffering here. And it doesn't matter if the other person or the thing or the situation is, as you know, the negative, or the one spewing the venom, or the one, and you're sharing the peace and love. The way you're sharing the peace and love is creating the suffering. Okay, and if you've been here for a while, you know that I would never ever say peace and love would ever be suffering. Okay, but the way you're attributing the peace and love, the way you're doing the thing that you're doing right now, because I feel like you feel justified and right in what you're doing, but it's perpetuating more of the same situations in your world, because it's actually not coming from true peace and love. Okay, peace and love in the heart space asks for nothing in return. It is selfless. It does not judge. It does not expect anything from anyone. And so I feel like you're taking action, that we need to strip away and peel back the layers and really look at our intention. And on the surface, we might think we don't have any intention. Then we ask, then what really am I doing this for? I really just want this other person or this situation to be okay? Or I want to attain what it is that I feel would be right. And because it seems loving, it should be right. But who are we to say what is loving and what we need to attain from any other individual or situation? So I feel like you want to, I feel like your intention is dressed up here in a way that could be perceived as good. But even that is not good, because you're using your own sort of eyes, your own filtration to determine what's good and what's bad. And you're putting that on top of, projecting that on top of other people and situations. And that is not good. It's not, because what it's doing is creating more suffering to you. And so I think your intention is good, but your intention isn't aligned with a great truth. It's your truth, and your truth is skewed. And it's based on ego, because it's trying to attain something, and it's trying to create something. Even if your heart, you think, is in a good place of what you want to create, it's really actually not heart. So you might really feel it and think it's heart, because I feel love, but this is the special kind of love, the egoic kind of love, the love based on fear, the love based on putting ourselves in a position, of, let's take a special relationship. I'm with this person because they make me feel happy. They provide support. They do all these things. Me. Meanwhile, heart-based consciousness says, how can I devote myself to this person, to give to this person unconditionally, whatever it is that they need here, without anything here. Okay, true unconditional love, and to everyone. And I'm not just talking about intimate relationship. I'm talking about true heart-based consciousness, seeing past people's sort of egos and actions. Because I feel like we get hurt, triggered, and suffering when that person or situation isn't reflecting back to us what we would expect, And so nobody owes you anything. And no one is going to give to you anything, okay? And if they do, it's a blessing. We be grateful, okay? But everything you could ever need is already within you and around you. It's not going to be provided by an external sort of person or source, other than it already exists and it's there for you. It's within you, it's around you. So we have gratitude for all that is. And when we see it this way, we just want to be of service. We want to give from a heart space. We don't pass judgment. And so as long as we're seeing as this is bad and this is good, they did this and I'm doing that, we are now in dualistic sort of mindset, which creates the suffering. So I think you have a sense of authority or entitlement to something here, okay? And I don't think you mean bad by it, but that's creating your suffering. This is the ego that needs to fall away. You need to drown this. Okay, because I think your experience with this has been one of suffering or just being let down, And so we need to not engage in this way, because this is matrix drama, this is ego sort of engagement. And so when we remove ourselves to get very, very still and connect with heart place and say, am I externally trying to make a situation in the eyes of what I want, or am I being a neutral observer and seeing what the people around me in the situation could use the most right now? And am I capable of doing this? Or can I at least just remove myself to observe rather than try to control it or inject this situation with myself or this person with my belief or this form of manipulation? Okay, I feel like you're trying to manipulate some sort of situation here. And so I feel like you are involved in a situation here that might feel like it's yeah, like full of drama. It is sort of matrixy here. I feel like there is a need to ground yourself, but the grounding is really grounding in a reality of what is actually real here, like being grateful for the things that are, you know, and pulling yourself away from the you're like right in the weeds of the drama here, so we can't see the forest for the trees so much, you know. But when we create the space where we're seeing what we're grateful for, we're able to ground ourselves. We pull, like, that's more the practical 3D things we can do in this situation, rather than be enmeshed with the people and the arguments and the ego conversations, you know, because I feel it's perpetuating more of what you don't want to experience. And so the best way to get along in your situation right now, to collaborate, to become one that's going to have a positive outcome, where other people are wanting to work with you, where it becomes a creation of magic and cohesion and unity. It's where you are. How can I be of service right here and drop everything that I was thinking, wanting to inject or create with that person or situation? Because I think the thing you want to create is still creatable, but not in the energy that you're in. Okay, because I feel you want to create, achieve, attain, you know. And so when we come from this mindset, I mean, it's great to have a vision, right? But when we are blinded, when we're blinded in how to get there, and so we force our will, or we create this thing based on our understanding of what we feel is right or what's worthy or deserving in that moment, we're now being the judge. You know, we're now being the judge. We're being the universe saying what's good and what's bad. Meanwhile, the universe is telling you right now in your high self that the universe knows what's supposed to unfold here to create this thing. And all you're doing is getting in the way of it. We need to tweak how we're engaged with it, because the universe wants to give this to you, because yes, you are deserving of this thing. Okay, it's not saying that you're not. So I think we're missing the point if we think we're supposed to just, you know, say we're not deserving of it now because we're going to be of service. No, being of service and dropping our idea of how we go about achieving this thing is what's going to get you this thing. Okay, and I say get you this thing, I mean, I feel like it's an idea, you know, it's this fantasy thing, this dream, this vision of attaining a thing here. Okay, whatever it is, relationship, an idea of a lifestyle, of an attainment. Okay, and so I feel like everything's sort of interconnected here. And so if we are in an energy of in like I keep saying, injecting with what we feel needs to happen in that moment, based on where that's coming from, we need to question, where's this coming from? Like, am I completely unbiased and removed from all of everything in this moment to be responsive to what's going on right now? Or am I being reactionary based on my history and my experience with this person or situation, or my beliefs of what I want to attain? Because the results are going to be different. It's like right here in this moment, detached from everything, how would I respond? And how we're supposed to respond is from heart, always from love. How can I service this situation, this person, the best way right now? Not to the idea that I held, you know, all week, all month, all year, or however long I've held it. And how am I going to respond in this moment to manipulate or get in this moment the thing that I've been attached to or wanting, because now we're creating further distance from us and the thing we want. This is what we're learning. Okay, because I feel like you want the thing, You really do. And I feel like you've been engaged with this for quite some time. So you have lessons learned here, but the main lesson to be learned here is this big one. And this is hard to do, especially if we're a doer and we want to achieve, and we feel like we have good intention and all this stuff. But all this stuff comes from ego. Who are we to know? Who really are we to know? Unless we're saying, well, it's my experience. And it's like, okay, experience is one thing, but in this present moment, this is a whole new moment. And so this cookie cutter approach isn't going to get you the thing, is what your high self is telling you. This is the main lesson you're learning. And so we need to drown this way of engaging, and I feel like it is engaging from the shadow. And I don't realize we're doing this. And if we're filled with the drama and people not cooperating and pain and all this he said, she said, and just it's not panning out, and the thing we want feels further away, it's not working with us, then I feel like it's time for us to look at what's actually around us, be grateful for it, and then not sort of make any sort of judgment on the situation that's going to put us in a position of I'm right, or I know what the right thing is, or I have the rulership over the situation because I understand it better, or that sort of a mindset, because we really don't. There is no right and wrong. There is no nothing except for in that moment coming from a heart place, okay? Like an actual heart place, not fear, not egoic special love, but actual heart-based consciousness. So let's see, Spirit, pile number 3. What is this message about? Can we dive in a little bit more? So we have death. That's the Scorpio energy, transformation, releasing the old for space for a new beginning. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. And thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Thank you so much. So the Mother Star, creation, fertility. Yes, this is a special card in this deck. And I think this came out for pile number 2 as well. So you might be pulled. But creative energy, fertility, birthing of something. So it's possible here with the yes. Okay, but I feel like we need to transform and release our old way of being. This is this drowned king. This is drowning of the ego self. The despicable face is the ego, the way of being here. Yeah, so 4 Pentacles, we're hanging on. Okay, we're hanging on, and it's a lack mindset here. So we might be in this lack mindset because of the belief of how we've always sort of engaged. And so your high self is saying it's time for us to just let it all go. Surrender to what's going to happen here in order for us to make space for us to then attain the thing. We don't have to chase, coerce, pressure, force. It needs more room to breathe. So we need to sort of retreat here. We can't be guarded, defensive, or in fighting energy. We need to sort of retreat and create space for there to be shift by releasing it. The universe is going to bring it to you once you release it. Okay? So 6 of Swords. Yeah, we're stuck in the 5 Swords energy. We don't know how to get out of that. The drama and the 5 Swords. Okay? So it's difficult to get out when we have the same sort of mindsets. The only way is to surrender, to release, and Hangman. So we're stuck in our viewpoint, like I said. And the viewpoint is the filter you put on. No matter how good your ego is, no matter how much love you might think you feel for another or the situation, or how you're engaged, I feel is the way you've always sort of connected to it. And so your biggest lesson in this whole thing is seeing it from a pure heart space rather than sort of the egoic heart space, ego love, perceiving a situation as it's going to provide this, and once I give that, like that would make sense logically, but that's not heart-based consciousness. Okay, so this is what's keeping you stuck, is the way you're engaged, and you keep seeing it in this same way. You're making judgments on the situation. You're passing and projecting what you think needs to happen, and what you feel is right, or what you're intuitively sort of thinking is the right way. And so there's no fault with intuition, but at the same time, when we start to act in a way here that's projecting onto other people and situations, then we start to create more of what we don't want here in this situation. Okay, and sometimes it calls us to act on it, and sometimes it calls us just to hang back here and let go. Hang back and let go. Yeah, the Creator. So look at this. These are the two special cards in this deck. The Creator, no, and the Mother Star, yes. So this is like masculine, feminine energy. Masculine is in reverse because I feel there's nothing to do. We can't force our will, okay? We have to be more receptive to the universe taking the wheel by surrendering and letting go. That's feminine energy. What sort of pans out will pan out. It's telling the universe I trust it. It's not saying I gotta do something here. I gotta inject myself with, or the situation with myself and my doing. It's like, no, I don't need to do anything. I just need it to unfold. I'm making it worse here. This is what's going to transform the situation. Okay. And the Lovers in reverse. So I feel like there is either a relationship or a path that is blocked right now. Your destined path, your destined partnership, your destined thing here to create harmony in a situation. Okay. And the only way that the path opens is when the transformation happens, the release of the old mindset, the release of the way we engage, the way we've always sort of, I feel, engaged. And I feel it's really strong within you, this ego self. And it's dressing it up as something good, you know? And it could be good when it comes to Matrix. It could appear good. Like, I want the best thing for this person or this situation. Or it feels right. Okay, but feels right how? On the surface, it's dressed up like it feels good. But it's really fear masquerading around as love. You know, I don't want to lose this person. I don't want to lose out on the situation. I really wanted this vision I had at all costs. And so I know what's right intuitively. It's like, okay, well, we're dressing up. We're dressing up the ego here to say we know what's best, projecting. And your high self is saying, surrender, allow the transformation to happen, because the pathway now is blocked. In order for it to be created here, for something to be fertile, it needs to be created for something to be born. But this would require you letting go and coming out of this sort of mindset. Strength, yeah, courage to face the fear, and the fear is to let go, or the courage is to know when to hold back and know when to press forward, because this is all about, you know, riding in grace. Sometimes we got to face our fear and take action and not to be too held back, and sometimes we need to just restrain ourselves and not engage. So we need to know the difference. This is also ego as strength. Leo, Scorpio, Gemini, Pisces. And then because I'm getting masculine, I'm getting Aries, and then I'm getting Taurus energy from the Mother Star. So yeah, this is control, you know, and it's coming in two ways. It's like we cannot control the universe and we cannot control an outcome. I feel like we're learning about control when we have control and when we don't. And I think the universe right now wants control. And so when you get injected into this, you're creating the opposite of what you want when you interject, okay? So hold back if you're feeling like you need to do something, but also face the fear of letting go, or face the fear that you're not wanting to face, because I feel that's when the transformation happens. Because we might not want to surrender, because it's like, if I give up and not do anything, it's not going to happen. No, well, that's facing the fear. That's the courage to let it go and trust the universe that it will happen. It will create. And keep staying stuck in the Six Swords. You know, because we keep seeing it in that way, that we have to be the ones that are sort of involved here. That's ego. We think we know more than the universe. That's ego. Okay, we think we could do something more here. And we're not being called to do anything. The only thing we're called to do is love from a heart space. It's not based in fear, and call the ego out anytime we see it. Are we taking action because we're projecting? Are we passing judgment on a situation? Are we trying to maneuver something in a certain way and dressing it up as something pretty? You know, so focus on getting grounded, surrendering, releasing, and trusting the divine here by getting very still. But I feel it's around love here with the Lovers and the Swan, you know, in this heart. That's true unconditional love. giving people and situations space to breathe, to become the thing that it's meant to be. Okay, and then we achieve the true happiness and love and joy and the cooperation and collaboration in a very unique way here. Okay, but I feel this is transcending through shadow self and ego self and childhood stuff here that makes us feel we need to control and attain and do things in a certain way. But when we start to really question and see things differently and engage differently, then we know when it's the right time to take aim, biding your time. So yeah, like with the strength, it looks like she's holding back, like hold back and shooting your arrows. There's no need to shoot arrows just yet. Okay, so pile 3, this is your reading. I hope this resonated for you. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye bye.